You're listening to the Crew Talk Podcast, a conversation about chasing growth.
And a 1, 2, 1, 2.
Bam!
Welcome back to the Crew Talk Podcast show.
Sorry. I've been a G. L. Something in the AM.
Alright, y'all. Welcome back to the Crew Talk Podcast. This is our, what episode?
I don't know. 29?
29. Let's do 2930.
Okay.
As y'all can see, it's me and Alan again, and special guest Melissa.
Hey y'all.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about some deep topics, some heavy stuff. Might get a little emotional, might have some laughs.
Let me say emotional damage. I proceed.
No, it's not gonna be too heavy, but we'll let Mel introduce herself, and then we'll just get into it.
Hey everyone, my name is Mel Cheong. I am a Term 5 med student. Excited to be on y'all's podcast today.
Nice. Where are you from? I'm
from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
PA, a little PA action.
PA, the office.
Yes. In the middle of nowhere.
Very true. All right, Alan, start us off. Hit us with something deep.
Yeah. So my understanding is today we're kind of talking about since we're all minority.
Correct.
Kind of our journey.
Mm-hmm.
To I guess medical school and just in life also.
Yeah.
And how our status either like affected it, influenced it, changed how they progressed.
Okay.
Something like that.
So yeah, let me take it away. How is it being a minority in medicine? Very broad.
Very broad. I think sometimes it can be difficult because you walk into spaces that can be uncomfortable.
You can talk to us.
Oh.
Leave her alone.
So sorry.
Whoops.
Okay.
I think that
That's right.
coming to SGU is not as uncomfortable because we have so much diversity here.
Right.
Yeah.
But like back home in the States, it's not as diverse as us. So it's more one race maybe, or not. It's male dominant, maybe not as female dominant. So like I think it's hard to navigate spaces like that when you're a female, you're black.
Right.
I'm also Asian, so like I think it definitely can play a toll of how the environment is when I walk into certain spaces.
Is it I mean, Alan, you can answer this as well. Do y'all feel like being a minority in a, I guess, homogenous field, is that something you think about every day?
For me, not really. So, because I guess I haven't felt like a majority for the past like almost 10 years.
Right.
So, I'm just kind of like going through my emotions, doing what I gotta do, and let's say if something reminds me of because sometimes it's not even about Asian, it's just being like an international student.
Right.
I've always been an international student. So I know we're IMGs, but I'm actually international because in clinicals or residency, you're all Americans.
Right.
But I think I'm a different pool.
Right.
So I think of being a minority in terms of that. Like, I don't know, like bureaucracy, like I have to jump through different applications. I even have to get a visa. Like that type of, and then even when I was applying to medical school, not to like, make big excuses for why I didn't get into other schools, but I think I am being assessed from a different perspective. Like they have different pools. Obviously, there's in-state, right, out of state, and then international.
Right.
So for McGill, for example, that's where I went to college. International students each year for medical school, there's 2 spots.
Oh shit.
Like imagine those 2 geniuses.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the things that made me aware of my situation, and I'm not really like a person to be like, that's systematic. This is like okay, like that's not gonna change anything.
Right.
So for example, I'll take my MCAT, I'll do the best I can, get the best GPA I can. Here I am in SGU. I'm still going through it. I'm not giving up.
Right.
But in terms of it did kind of change my future plan because obviously I didn't plan on coming to SGU.
Right.
I planned on doing US or like I guess a normal path.
The traditional route.
So in terms of being a minority and how that affected me, I think that's the the biggest change for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys.
For me, it's like, so I want to do surgery. And
Mhm.
surgery is very like male dominant. It's like I'm a majority in that.
Right.
But for the most part, it's like white male.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about it every day in a yes and no sense. Like it doesn't weigh on me like, damn, like I want to be with all white men for the rest of my life. I don't think about it like that.
No.
I just think about it in the sense that like, I just have to be better at everything I do.
True.
So like, I can't like take a day off or like be caught slipping or anything like that that like put me a step behind.
Right.
So it's always like on top of like med school being hard, having to stand out with like your peers, like there's like an extra pressure to stand out for me personally.
What about you?
Well, I think I either want to go into emergency medicine or GI.
Okay.
So, again, I think really being like a Black female
Right.
is kind of, you don't see very many Black doctors. At that, you don't see very many Black female doctors.
Right.
So it's not something that I think about every day, but I think when I see a patient that looks like me, it's gonna really like make me like want to make sure I'm catering to them.
Okay.
I want to cater to all my patients,
Mm-hmm.
but specifically the patients that are like, wow, like she is diverse, she is different, she can understand, she can relate to me on a different level that maybe a white doctor couldn't do, or someone like a male doctor couldn't relate to like the patient. So that's how I think about it.
But what about, okay, let's say, so you said we don't really see Black doctors or female doctors, and you're both. So does that statistic scare you from, I don't know, just achieving what you want to?
No, it makes me want to go harder.
Right, I like that. That's nice.
It makes me want to be the best.
Definitely.
I can kind of relate it to like track and field. Like in college, I wanted to work out with the boys. I wanted to lift with the boys.
She is very
like,
competitive.
I wanted to be right there and be like, just because you're not the same sex doesn't mean I'm going. Like I can't be like you. I'm going to be better than you.
Right.
Talk that shit.
Talk that talk. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because I do feel like I've had to do more to get into medicine in North America. And I feel like if I was I'm just gonna say it, like I truly feel like if I was evaluated not with the same rubric but just with the same pool with the MCAT, like GPA, all that, international or not, don't care, just applicants. I feel like right now I would be in a different place. Right. But at the same time, since we're talking about it, that's why I'm saying it. But I don't think about it, like regret. It's just, okay, I'm at SGU, let's just...
Next up.
I'm trying to get as like highest grades as possible.
Right.
Let's get to the US, let's go to clinical, let's go to residency.
Yeah. I feel that. Okay, so how... That was good. I like that. Y'all was talking out shit just now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like just lay it out there.
Yeah.
I know that this type of stuff, like maybe like
people dance around it.
Yeah, and then also the stuff I say, maybe like like how good are you? Like chill. Like I'm just gonna say like this is what I believe. Obviously, I don't know what would have happened if that were the case, but this is what I think.
Okay, so I guess like sticking to like the how you were talking about like not seeing people who look like you. Do you think that influenced your choice to do this career?
Good question.
I don't think so. I think what really influenced me to do this career is my mom. Not her being like, I want you to go to med school, but just her health problems. But then actually getting into the field of medicine and seeing like, I really don't see many doctors that look like me. Made me want to go even harder to be like, I'm going to be that person that can like walk in a room and I'm like almost the authority figure. It's not like, oh, you're just sitting in the back, like you're not taking care of me, you're not taking lead. Like I'm taking lead. Like I studied just as hard to be here and like I want you to understand like I'm a minority and I'm smart. Sometimes I feel like in the field of medicine, like we're kind of undermined, like, oh, like you're Black, you're Asian, you're this, you're that, you're not as smart as maybe someone who is Indian or someone who is white, or you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that is something that I want people to know, like, I'm smart. I'm
Right.
here. Like, I'm gonna save your life.
Yeah, I belong just like you.
Yeah.
Right. What about you? Growing up, like, I mean, obviously, like when you were growing up in Taiwan, you
Mhm.
probably saw a lot of time in Taiwan.
Right. So like I don't know. So I like that the fact that you have to work harder,
Mm-hmm.
right? So again, growing up, I was in Taiwan. I didn't have that I guess motivation because everyone looks like me. Like
Mhm.
we do the same shit. Obviously, I was also trying to do good in school, but I guess I was the majority back home, right? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone's Asian. So when I moved to Canada when I was 14, it started to, I guess, have an effect on me. Made me more aware
Mhm.
of my status. It's like, okay, I have to, like I said earlier, do more. I have to have higher grades
Mm-hmm.
to compete for the same opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
which, again, motivates me. But like I said, like when I was younger, that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's how I would answer it.
For me, I guess like I feel like everyone has like their dream career and they think of it like when they're younger and they have like a moment like as a child, it's like, oh, I can see myself doing that. I guess I was just like very like oblivious to like representation when I was young. It's like all of my doctors have been white,
Mhm.
but I would see how they interacted with people and like I saw the things that they did and I was like, yo, I want to be just like that.
Mhm.
So like how they looked really didn't matter. I mean,
Mhm.
like I guess my pediatrician who I've had since like birth to like 20
Mhm.
was a white woman,
Right.
and like she's the one who inspired me to do medicine. So like
Mhm.
representation really didn't play a role in like why I wanted to do it. To be honest,
Right. So yeah, going back, so I kind of went like a little bit around it, but no, being, I guess, in the media, there's a stereotype, Asian parents, you be doctor or I disown you, very funny. But for me, that wasn't the case.
right?
I think I talked about on the other podcast, my kindergarten graduation speech. Somehow, I just said I want to be a OB-GYN.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Don't know why, but at that time, I was like 4. I don't think I even realized I'm Asian.
mm-hmm.
Because I look like everybody else. I didn't even know, white, Asian, whatever.
Yeah,
So definitely, I don't think,
that played a role.
not at all.
Yeah,
Not at all. Not at all.
but I do acknowledge the fact that like it does play a role for some people.
Okay.
Like, some people might not even think about it just because like, oh, everyone in the hospital is white. I guess only white people be doctors. You know what I mean? Like there might be some kind of
Interesting.
subconscious influence for some people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
So like, I feel like that would be more of a case in America, right? Because it's so
Yeah,
diverse.
right.
There's white, black, Hispanic, whatever.
Mhm.
But in Asia, it's all Asians. So
Yeah.
like when I go to the hospital, it's all Asians.
Yeah,
So like, again, that's part of why it doesn't really
affect
me that much because all I see is people like me being doctors.
Mhm.
I mean, what can I, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But I guess for you guys, you guys would have seen more white doctors,
Exactly.
male doctors.
Yeah.
So, and you're just saying that didn't really influence you
Mhm.
personally.
Personally, no.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
You touched on the point about as a college athlete, Melissa ran track. Everyone,
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
they're
wow.
good. You want to compete with the guys. How do you think? Like, what gave you that drive to like want to stand out against the guys?
I think because I grew up with brothers, so
Mhm.
like
Oh,
I have 5 brothers.
Yeah.
My 2 older brothers, like they all play sports, so like
Mhm.
I wanted to play and I wanted to be just as good as them. Like I
Right.
wanted to be the top. I
That
wanted to
makes
be
so
the
much
best.
sense.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't know that actually.
yeah. So
I've heard it before.
Too many times probably. But wow, that makes so much sense.
So when I got to college, like
Yeah.
I wanted to do what they were doing. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to run with them. Like I wanted to run as fast as them.
Right.
And just when it came to competing with the girls, it was
Mhm.
like, okay, like I want to be leading the pack. I don't want to be
Right.
behind.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you think that this might be a spicy topic, but like you want
Spice
to
it
get
up.
into it?
Spice it up.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
there's the whole transgender athletes competing in
Ooh, okay.
women's sports.
Be honest. Be honest. If we get canceled, we get canceled. Whatever.
So I'm not gonna say it's the opposite. I'm not gonna label anything, but
Mm-hmm.
you were competing with guys.
Yeah.
Not like in competition, but like you work alongside them to get better.
Right. And I do want to add before you answer, like, there is a biological difference.
Right.
Like there is
a big biological difference.
Like, what are your
I can't
thoughts?
lift as strong as you and Tim. I can't run as fast as you and Tim.
So what are your thoughts on
someone who is male that goes transgender and does a woman's sport, I think they have an edge that I won't have. So even if you are taking hormones to, you know, have your breast develop, like just to make sure you're actually like you're a female,
right?
You still have that genetic component.
Yeah, biologically you're not a complete female. Yeah.
So even prime example, like let's say Tim wanted to be a female. He's 6'2", 200 plus pounds. When you put you on the line to race me, regardless if you look like me,
I'm gonna dust you.
Yes.
Yeah, dust.
Okay. Easy on the.
But the reason I bring it up is because I played football, and that scenario of like women playing football and like competing hasn't like a thing. They might be like a kicker or something, but like track is a very like what's the word, like men and women compete in track, and like you compete against the clock rather than a person.
Right.
So like you working out and like training against them. I just like it's a little thought I had.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting though.
Right.
This conversation can go like haywire.
It could.
But
I think it's cool that the NCAA are letting people who are transgender compete in the sport that they are like, you know, my gender is female.
Okay.
I think it gives a fair opportunity to people that are like, okay, like you're not being discriminated against.
Right.
But I also think there is some type of unfairness when
it
comes to winning like medals and
especially when it's an athletic performance based profession, whatever you want to call it. There is a intrinsic difference in how our DNA
works.
Yeah, XY, XX. Let's not talk about Klinefelters. Like I know it exists, but let's talk about like just the majority. It's okay. You identify as whatever, and then you're female or you're male. You identify as female, and you go play a female sport. Okay, I agree. You identify as this gender right now, but the XY doesn't change, and if you're in an athletic and performance situation, it would enhance your performance. So I do think it's unfair in that, but other careers, why should it matter, right?
Very true.
Yeah, but in terms of sports, because it is athletics.
Yeah, there's some like biological component that goes into the results of the career. Yeah. So, I guess my short answer, like I don't really agree with the, it being fair.
Yeah.
Especially to the other girls that are competing.
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess bringing it back to medicine and like the whole minority thing, we talked about like I guess a summary of like the barrier to enter the field. Once we get in the field, the culture around being a minority. So, for example, like I don't know what the demographics for EM and IM are, but being a African American / Asian American woman, how do you see navigating like the social climate? Not necessarily like racism or anything like that, but just like if all your other residents are white guys.
Yeah. I think kind of just having like those uncomfortable conversations at times. So when things are happening in the news, like creating like a safe environment where my co-residents are comfortable with us having those discussions and not being ignorant about those topics. I think having like an open mind will make residency easier.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, not everyone is going to be receptive. So I think those are the people that you kind of just have to let it roll off your shoulder. And at the end of the day, I work with you. You're not my friend or...
Right.
I definitely think it's easier for us because, like, obviously you move into Canada, you were around... It's like medicine is predominantly white men.
Okay.
When you moved to Canada, you were around white guys.
Okay.
When I played football at Yale, I was around white guys. So, like, navigating that space is definitely easier for us. Because you're a you're technically a triple minority.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but not even, I guess, like social climate, but just the fact that, like, you're committing so much time of your life to be quote unquote in an uncomfortable situation.
No.
Yeah. Well, okay. Just even like the superficial stuff in residency, like I like to wear braids.
Right.
So having someone be like, "Oh wow, your hair is so nice," versus when I take my braids out and I straighten my hair, that's gonna be another version of like, "Oh wow, like
you look different today.
You look different. I like your hair straight. Like your hair looks better straight."
Okay, you're saying that you don't
like
that doesn't feel right.
Those things, comments like that, don't feel right. Like as like being a minority woman, like I feel like hair is such a versatile thing with us. So I can come to work one day with my hair curly. I can come with my hair straight, or I can come with braids or something like that. And sometimes your colleagues would be like, "Mel, hey, yeah, it's me."
Well, obviously, if they be like, "Oh," but what if it's like, "Oh, like you change your hair, like I like that," like just like a comment.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
But, like some people are super like ignorant about it. Like when I worked as a scribe, it was like, "Oh wow, like I like your hair better straight."
I like implying like right now it does
like so when it's in braids or if it's curly, you don't really like my hair that much.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay.
So I guess the next question is, have you thought about that? Have you thought about the fact that your love for the field outweighs like the uncomfortableness you will feel in it?
I think so.
I feel like definitely. Yeah, right?
I absolutely think so.
Right.
I feel like it's going to make me thrive, though. At the end of the day, I'm not there for you or you. I'm there for me.
Exactly. I like that. Preach. Amen. I'm a Christian.
Oh, shit. All right, keep going. We're still on camera, though.
Is it audio?
It's just visual right now.
Okay.
That's what we said. Keep going
now.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to like, I'm there to take care of someone who wants to be taken care of or who needs to be taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you feel like right now in medical school that you are having to navigate through things because of who you are right now?
Here? No.
Right.
I mean, there's uncomfortable situations personally, but there's not. I don't feel like racially there's uncomfortable situations. If I thought about like undergrad, yes, it was very uncomfortable situations where it's like I have to navigate who I am, how I talk. Like if I'm around a certain group of people, I would code switch, making sure like I'm pronouncing my words, or versus if I'm with my friends, I can tone it back and like have like a little bit of slang.
Interesting.
I feel like that's the SU is I'm not gonna say it's surprising a safe space, but compared to some other places I've been, the race issue is not really like a thing here.
Yeah.
Right. And could it also be because here is predominantly black?
True.
So
in terms of like the native people, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Okay.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
I also feel like if we went to school in the States, it would have been a lot different. So talking about like how they look at you as you're an international,
like a different rubric almost.
Like just comparing like Tim and I, like we're American, but we're black.
Yeah.
Let's just say like our grades weren't amazing in college, and like our MCAT was subpar, right? Like you see like so many like white kids, it's like they have like 4.0s, like they score so high, and it's like they get into med school so easy. And
right.
So like most of my friends who are of color or people I know of color, it has to be like 2, 3, maybe even 4 times of applying to med school before you actually get in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, I tried a couple of times too, like 2 cycles, and then.
Yeah, it's like when does it stop? Because that's also so much money.
True.
I only did 1. I was like, I see what's happening here.
I didn't do any. I just applied to SU after I took my MCAT.
Oh, really?
Yep. I was like,
interesting.
I'm gonna work hard. It doesn't matter like whether I came here or I'm going to work hard. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's finish this off with like a food for thought. Okay. So for someone coming behind you, a black female coming behind you, what would your word of advice be to them? Going into medicine.
Don't let anyone dim your light.
So
keep shining, keep working hard, and at the end of the day, you're gonna come out on top, no matter what.
Yeah.
So
that's big.
That's tough.
All right, take us out.
Yeah, I guess for my like, not only Asian but like international status students, just still strive for, like, lack of a better word, perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you'll probably have to work just a little harder because, you know, on paper you're a different group of people, but that shouldn't change. Let's say today, somehow you got a green card.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. You strive for perfection.
Right.
And when you strive for perfection and you do the most you can, the rest, of course, will change it, but it shouldn't matter that much because you would have done the same either way.
Right.
So strive for perfection and let the rest just take care of itself.
I feel
What about you, Tim?
my thing is whatever moves you, chase it. It doesn't matter like what it looks like, what people say about it. Like people talk about, oh, this specialty is blah blah blah, or like you have to climb so many walls.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if you wake up and you get to chase your dream every day, like you're living a great life. That's how I approach it.
What is this podcast about? Like chasing dreams, or what is it?
Chase growth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Growing.
Yeah.
Oh, chasing. I like that.
So don't let, like, pretty much echoing what they both said, like don't let other people influence
Dim your light.
Dim your light. Strive for perfection,
Mm-hmm.
and just chase growth, man. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about.
Growing in uncomfortable spaces.
Yes. Ooh, we dropping gems.
Ooh, we chasing.
All right, take us out, Alan.
All right, again, like always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening, and join the conversation with us. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, guys.